Alright, so let's talk stage red. And we're not going to talk about the prior two stages in detail because they're not important enough for us right now to shoot specific videos about them. So we start with stage red. And in this stage, you become very self-aware and you feel more separated by others. This is a stage when you realize, wait, if I do things on my own and just the way I want them, I can be much more faster and successful. It's a very I-driven, egocentric stage, and it's all about strength and power and conquering. You just think about your own advantage and benefits, and you're not taking anybody else into account. You're also very impulsive in decision making, but in general, people at stage red tend to be impulsive and very short-sighted because they just think and act in the very present moment. They don't really think ahead and what is happening in the next 5 years. It's just what I want now, and I'm acting this way so I can get what makes me happy right now. They never consider consequences. Logan Paul, for example, he used to be at the stage, I'm actually putting a link in the video description, where he's explicitly basically describing stage red, and he's describing how he used to think. Rules and laws are not wanted in this stage. Rape is also stage red. In stage red, there's no right or wrong thinking because there is no right or wrong. You just do things that you want to do. You're not feeling guilty or any sense of shame because there's not this right or wrong. This only arises at the next stage. Now, stage red is a very important stage. You have to understand that each stage in the spiral dynamics model is key and you need to integrate it properly. And there are positive sides and negative sides. So positive sides of stage red are that you are able to say no to things. You're living up your impulses and not repressing them. You live in the here and now, you're enthusiastic, you have a sense of assertiveness, courage, and strength. And those are all very positive things in life that we need if you want to be a healthy human being. And of course, testosterone helps living up this stage, so guys are better at integrating the stage, but often not only in a positive way. And women tend to neglect the stage often. They tend to be very we-centric and don't really live up their desires and be strong enough to say no to things and go according to their way. Now, the negative sides or pathologies are being very egocentric, being a narcissist, being ruthless, power-obsessed, uncontrollable, and extremely impulsive. Now, if you want to grow, especially grow this stage out, then you need to understand and handle the negative sides and grow them out, but also more live up the positive sides of stage red and make them more situation dependent and live them up in a more healthy way. Examples of stage red are Logan Paul in the past. Just check out the video in the description box. And I'm not saying that he used to be 100% red at this age where this video is about, but he had a lot of red parts within him that he lived up, also a lot of negative parts. Now he's kind of developing, and it's very interesting how he develops, so it's interesting to see in which direction he goes, and I hope he's not regressing, but rather growing more and more. Another classical example for stage red is Donald Trump. In general, narcissists. Partially the movie Wolf of Wall Street with Leonardo DiCaprio. There tend to be a lot of orange elements within this part, yes, but a lot of orange elements were lived up through this red stage. So if you watch this movie and really know about stage red, you will know what I mean with that, and you can differentiate also between stages in that there were some orange elements in there, but yes, but also a lot of red ones, but also once in a while even other elements. Kids who are about 2 to 6 years old, at some point they experience a phase of stage red. Those kids who are standing in a supermarket shouting for the Snickers, and they just want the Snickers now, and they don't care what the mother feels like now, and they don't even care or notice that it's embarrassing for the mother. That's stage red. Often criminals are stage red. Not always. There can be criminals on every stage in the spiral almost. Of course, it's just more likely that you are stage red if you are a criminal or, for example, a rapist, as we talked about it already. And the mafia also tends to be red. There are also a lot of purple elements in there, but also a lot of red parts. Now, this stage evolved around 10,000 years ago. It was the stage of heroes and myths. Tribes start to invade other tribes because they realized, wait, if we just do our thing and we just invade others and kill them, we have more food, we have more women, that's better for us. And on the one hand, it was also smart genetically because there was a more genetical variety, no such thing as inbreeding anymore, not as much anymore. So there are also some good parts if you look at it from a rational side. But history-wise, this was the stage red, the stage of conquering and invading others. And throughout our development, as we already said, usually kids from 2 to 6 years old, they start to engage in this stage and in this behavior. And in the very beginning, you really just think everybody sees the world as I do. So those little kids who are putting their hands in front of their eyes and then they think nobody can see me, that's still stage red. It's not a further developed stage because in the next stage, you have more perspective, wisdom, and see what others can see and feel. That's why you also have no shame here because it's a very egocentric stage. And it's a difficult stage, and often as a dad or as a mom, you need to dominate this kid. In general, you need to dominate stage red and show who is the stronger one. Sometimes if you just talk with this kid and argue, kids in stage red, they won't listen to you. They listen to stronger ones. So also a boss needs to have an alpha mentality and courage and power if they are talking to red people because they only listen to stronger ones. And this brings me to communication in general. You have to speak rather simply and extreme to those people, not in a formal way usually. And you either make them feel strong, because that's what they are all about, right? They want to have this power and strength. Or you dominate them and really say, hey, you're not going to do it this way. You're going to go to bed now. Otherwise, you're not allowed to watch television the next week. That's it. That's a more stage red approach. And that works better than sometimes arguing with love. Or telling them, see how your brother is seeing that and he feels sad now. Don't you see that? Sometimes they really don't see that. It's the wrong way to communicate with them in that way. If you want to give them a compliment, usually there's no need for a higher language. Really just talk like a teenager because that's the stage they are. Not only the kids, also adults who are stage red. Talk very simply because that's their level. Hey man, you did an amazing job. That's awesome. That's a good compliment for a stage red person. Criticism should be, for example, more loud and threaten the person even to kick them out of the room. Really have this alpha mentality. It's a power play here. If you talk with red people, it's just a power play. If you're too soft, they won't listen to you. You can argue as smartly as you want, they just won't listen to you. So really meet them on their level. That's in general a huge meta understanding of this developmental model. Meet people at their level. If you're at stage green, for example, this is a stage we will talk in a few videos, and you go to Africa and want to help them in a greenish way, it's not working. You got to go on their level and help them where they are at. Also, if you want to motivate them, you can't talk about, hey, we want to cooperate so we can share some more love. That's not their thinking. You got to promise them quick profits, challenges, and risk. And if you tell them to cooperate with others, then tell them you do this so you gain more respect and power. That's their motivation. So this is a really important stage. You got to integrate that. As we said already, the positive sides are so key here, but you have to become aware of the downsides and you have to become aware of the fact that sometimes we need some common ground. If everybody's just doing whatever they want to do, it's not going to work. And if we actually work together and have this common ground, we can be much stronger together. And this is actually the insight which is leading you to the next stage, which is stage blue, and which is also our next video.